Blake Lively has always been a name that brings to mind a mixture of elegance, charm, and undeniable talent. And when people hear about her, it is not just about her career in Hollywood, but about the way she has crafted her life with a balance of glamour, authenticity, and a sense of humor that makes her one of the most relatable stars despite her A-list status. So when the world began to buzz about Blake Lively's new shell company, it reminded many of the fascinating journeys celebrities often take when they move beyond acting and into business, philanthropy, and even unexpected ventures that tell us more about who they are as individuals. Because Blake, who first captivated audiences with her breakout role in Gossip Girl, has since shown the world she is not just an actress but also a creative entrepreneur, a loving mother, and a woman who knows how to adapt her brand to remain timeless. And this new company is not just about business but about adding yet another layer to her already rich career path. And what is beautiful about following celebrities like her is that you start to see the connections between their choices, whether it is fashion, entrepreneurship, or charity. They weave together a narrative that feels larger than life and still deeply human. And this is why people become fascinated by her personal journey. Now adding Justin Baldoni into the story creates another dynamic, because Justin is also someone who has made headlines, not just for his acting on shows like Jane the Virgin, but also for his work behind the camera as a director and as an advocate for men to embrace vulnerability, kindness, and balance in a world that often demands toughness from them. So when news spread about Justin Baldoni bringing in new lawyers, it did not just sound like a legal update. It carried with it the sense of a new chapter in his public story. And when you start weaving these threads together, you get a bigger tapestry of celebrity life, which is what makes the world of entertainment so fascinating. It is never just about one person, but about how their journeys intersect, overlap, and influence the broader culture. And when you start looking at people like Blake and Justin alongside others in Hollywood and beyond, you begin to see patterns of reinvention, resilience, and transformation that are at the heart of why we care about celebrities in the first place. Because for every moment of scandal or surprise, there is also a moment of inspiration that keeps fans watching and rooting for them in the same way people have watched the arcs of stars like Jennifer Lopez, who went from a dancer to a global superstar businesswoman and philanthropist, or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who went from professional wrestling to becoming one of the highest paid actors in the world, while also building businesses and inspiring millions with his discipline and positivity. These stories feed into the same appetite for transformation and growth. And it is this appetite that makes the news about Blake Lively's shell company and Justin Baldoni's lawyers feel like more than just headlines. They become chapters in a much bigger saga of modern celebrity life. And when we trace back to the beginning of many stars, it always feels like we are reading a story about someone who came from ordinary roots and transformed their life into something extraordinary. Whether it is Taylor Swift writing songs in her bedroom before conquering the global stage, or Rihanna, who started out as a young singer in Barbados and grew into a music icon and beauty mogul with Fenty. We are constantly reminded that celebrity journeys are stories of possibility and ambition, and when you listen closely, they also remind you of your own dreams and how far someone can go if they persist. So as we dive deeper into the stories of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and connect them to the larger fabric of celebrity culture, we realize that each move they make, whether it is launching a business, hiring new legal representation, or creating art feeds into this grand narrative of growth, challenges, reinvention, and inspiration that the world cannot stop watching. And this is just the beginning, because once you pull one thread in Hollywood, it inevitably connects to countless others, from friendships to rivalries to collaborations and causes, creating a story that never really ends but only evolves. And as the story continues, it is impossible not to marvel at how celebrities like Blake Lively manage to juggle their careers, personal lives, and business ventures with such poise, because beyond the spotlight, she has also become a force in fashion, consistently making waves on red carpets where every look she wears seems to tell its own story. Whether it is her bold appearances at the Met Gala, where she is often praised for being among the best dressed, or her effortless street style that fans attempt to emulate, she has always known how to use fashion as a form of storytelling and self-expression. And this connects deeply to the business side of her persona, because when someone like Blake launches a new company, it does not exist in isolation. It is rooted in her aesthetic, her vision, and her values. And in that sense, it becomes more than just a business. It becomes a reflection of who she is. And in parallel, Justin Baldoni has charted his own path, not only as an actor, but as a director of heartfelt projects like 5 Feet Apart and the upcoming adaptation of It Ends With Us. And his choice to bring in new lawyers at this stage hints at the fact that his journey too is evolving, perhaps taking on new challenges that will shape the next phase of his career and personal life. And when you zoom out to view both of these stories side by side, you can see how celebrity culture often mirrors the human experience. Because while the details are glamorous, the themes are universal. We all know what it feels like to pivot, to start something new, to protect ourselves, and to reinvent. And this is why people remain captivated by these figures, because they serve as mirrors for our own journeys, showing us what reinvention looks like on a massive stage. And it is not just Blake and Justin who embody this, because across Hollywood and beyond, we see celebrities who continually redefine themselves. Take, for instance, Lady Gaga, who began her career with bold, over-the-top performances and fashion choices that shocked the world, but then transitioned into acting, delivering powerful roles in projects like A Star is Born, proving that she was not limited to one box, but capable of expanding into new realms. And her journey is echoed by others, like Zendaya, who transitioned from Disney Channel roots to becoming a respected actress and a fashion icon who now headlines blockbuster films and represents major luxury brands. And in their journeys, you can see the same themes of evolution, resilience, and the ability to surprise audiences. And these are the qualities that make celebrity culture endlessly fascinating. Because it is not just about the fame, it is about the growth and transformation over time. And when you think about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni in that broader landscape, you realize their current headlines, whether about a shell company or new lawyers, are simply stepping stones. In the bigger story, they are writing for themselves, stories that fans will follow closely because they have already invested emotionally in their journeys. And that investment is what fuels the connection between stars and audiences. Because when fans see their favorite celebrities succeed, overcome struggles, or reinvent themselves, it creates a sense of hope and inspiration that anything is possible for them too. And when we reflect on the way celebrity culture continues to evolve, we see how it is not only about the projects stars take on, but also about the influence they carry in shaping conversations around important issues. For instance, Blake Lively has often spoken about protecting her children from invasive paparazzi coverage. And while that may seem like a small detail in the broader picture, it actually highlights a shift in Hollywood, where stars are reclaiming their boundaries and setting healthier standards for themselves and for others in the industry. And this parallels Justin Baldoni, who has used his platform to advocate for redefining masculinity, encouraging men to embrace vulnerability and compassion, which resonates strongly in a culture that is slowly breaking free from outdated expectations. And when you consider these examples side by side, you begin to see that the narrative around celebrities has expanded beyond entertainment. It has become about activism, about using their voices for something larger than themselves. And this is part of what keeps fans so deeply connected to them, because beyond admiring their success, they admire the courage it takes to use fame in service of something meaningful. And this same spirit can be traced across countless stories, whether it is Leonardo DiCaprio dedicating decades of his life to climate activism, or Angelina Jolie bringing global awareness to humanitarian crises, or BTS using their platform to speak about self-love and mental health. And every time these figures step into roles that merge art, business, and advocacy, they create legacies that stretch far beyond the entertainment industry. And looping back to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, it becomes clear that whether they are launching companies, securing legal teams, or creating films, their decisions exist in a much larger cultural context. And each step they take is not just about personal advancement, but about the ripple effects it sends into the world. And fans remain glued to these journeys because they unfold in real time with unpredictability, twists, and challenges that mirror the very storytelling arc of the film, shows, and music we consume. And perhaps that is the ultimate reason we cannot look away from celebrity lives, because they become living narratives unfolding day by day in headlines and social media posts, inviting us to witness their highs and lows. And in that witnessing, we are reminded of our own capacity to grow, reinvent, and rise again after setbacks. And as these living narratives continue to expand, it is striking to see how the thread of resilience ties them all together. Because whether it is Blake Lively navigating new business landscapes while balancing motherhood and acting, or Justin Baldoni stepping into fresh legal and professional strategies, each is demonstrating that reinvention is not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength. And this mirrors countless other celebrities who have faced crossroads in their careers. Consider Robert Downey Jr., who at one point seemed to be written off by Hollywood, but then through determination and the right opportunities, reinvented himself into one of the most beloved and highest-paid actors of his generation, with his role as Iron Man, cementing his place in cinematic history and stories like his inspire audiences, because they remind us that setbacks do not define us forever. Instead, they can serve as springboards for greater heights, and the same spirit of resilience can be seen in artists like Demi Lovato, who has been open about personal struggles, yet continues to create music that resonates with millions, or in Taylor Swift, who transformed public scrutiny and career challenges into creative fuel, reinventing her sound and image again and again while staying true to her storytelling heart. And as fans, we find ourselves drawn into these arcs because they echo the universal truth that life is not linear. It is full of highs and lows, but what matters most is how we navigate those transitions. And Blake and Justin, like so many before them, are living examples of that truth unfolding before our eyes. And when you consider how fans interact with these stories through social media interviews and live events, it becomes clear that the relationship between celebrities and their audiences is no longer one-sided. It is interactive, participatory, and deeply emotional. Because when fans cheer for their favorites at premieres or concerts or flood their timelines with supportive messages, they are not just consuming entertainment. They are forming bonds that feel personal and authentic. And this emotional investment is what transforms celebrities into cultural icons, because they are not only admired for their talents, but also for their humanity, their imperfections, and their ability to rise again when life throws challenges their way. And in exploring this bond further, we can look at how fan culture itself has evolved into something far beyond autograph signings and concert tickets. Because now digital communities create spaces where millions of people unite to celebrate, share, and even debate the journeys of their favorite stars. And this dynamic connection fuels both the growth and resilience of celebrities themselves, since the encouragement they receive from loyal supporters can often provide the strength to endure public challenges and moments of self-doubt. And one cannot overlook how Blake Lively has fostered such a connection with her audience through humor, authenticity, and fashion moments that go viral almost instantly. Whether she is sharing behind the scenes, glimpses of family life, attending charity galas, or stepping onto the red carpet with bold style choices, each moment becomes part of a larger narrative that fans eagerly follow. And Justin Baldoni, on the other hand, has carved his own space through meaningful storytelling with projects that spark conversations about masculinity, vulnerability, and compassion, reminding viewers that celebrity influence extends beyond entertainment and into shaping cultural values. And when we broaden our gaze, we find countless parallels from stars, like Zendaya, who seamlessly transitioned from a Disney Channel start to an Emmy-winning actress admired for her advocacy for diversity, to Priyanka Chopra, who bridged industries from Bollywood to Hollywood while using her platform to champion global issues. And then there is Keanu Reeves, whose humility and generosity have made him a symbol of kindness in a world often dazzled by excess. And it is in these overlapping stories that the magic of celebrity culture becomes so fascinating. Because it is not just about glitz and glamour, it is about perseverance, reinvention, kindness, and impact. And as we weave through these narratives, it becomes ever more clear that celebrity stories mirror our own lives in larger-than-life form filled, with challenges, victories, and lessons that resonate deeply with anyone willing to listen. And when considering the longevity of these careers, it becomes obvious that the secret often lies in the ability to adapt to shifting landscapes in both entertainment and public perception. Because while some celebrities burst into the spotlight, only to fade quickly, others manage to evolve decade after decade, adjusting their craft to suit new audiences while staying true to themselves. And Blake Lively exemplifies this in her transition from beloved television star to acclaimed film actress, and then into a fashion icon whose influence reaches far beyond the screen. Her entrepreneurial ventures, her fearless fashion choices, and her openness about motherhood have kept her relevant across multiple cultural eras, and Justin Baldoni, too, has shown that true success is not just measured by fame, but by purpose-creating films, books, and initiatives that connect people to deeper truths about humanity and vulnerability. And this same resilience is echoed in figures like Lady Gaga, who has seamlessly moved from controversial pop provocateur to Academy Award-winning actress while still championing kindness and inclusivity. Or Beyoncé, who has transformed herself with each album, from Destiny's Child to Renaissance building an empire of music, fashion, and philanthropy that inspires millions worldwide. And then we see Robert Downey Jr., whose journey from personal struggles to becoming one of the most beloved actors of his generation as Iron Man demonstrates how reinvention and redemption can capture hearts globally, and fans cherish these arcs because they mirror the possibility of growth in their own lives, proving that no matter how public or private the journey, there is always room for transformation and inspiration. And that is the beauty of these interconnected stories. They show us that even at the height of fame, celebrities remain human beings, striving, learning, and evolving in ways that echo our own hopes and dreams. And as we bring this incredible journey to a close, it is so clear that the world of celebrities is more than flashing lights, red carpets, and glossy magazine covers. It is a space filled with real people chasing dreams, overcoming doubts, and using their platforms to leave behind something meaningful for the next generation, whether it is Blake Lively balancing artistry, family, and entrepreneurship, or Justin Baldoni championing empathy and creating new ways to connect humanity, or Taylor Swift proving that reinvention is not only possible but powerful, or Beyoncé teaching us how legacy is built with both brilliance and generosity. Each story adds another thread to the tapestry of inspiration. And even when controversies arise or setbacks occur, we see resilience, determination, and the reminder that even the most glamorous lives come with real challenges that require courage and humility. And through all of this, fans become part of the story, cheering at concerts, flooding social media with love, supporting charities, and learning that their voices matter in shaping culture itself. And maybe that is why we never grow tired of celebrity stories, because they are not just about them. They are about us too, about our dreams, our fears, our comebacks, and our triumphs mirrored through people who happen to live their lives on a bigger stage. So whether it is the humble beginnings of stars who rose against all odds, or the legends who continue to inspire long after the spotlight dims, the journey is ongoing, vibrant, and endlessly captivating. And as we celebrate the careers, the fashion, the charity work, the safe controversies, the fan interactions, and the iconic achievements, we are reminded that fame at its best is not about distance, but about connection, about showing us that even in the glitter and the glamour, there is heart, soul, and a story worth telling. And that is why, as we scroll, listen, and watch, we keep coming back for more. Because these are not just celebrity stories, they are human stories of courage, creativity, and love. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspirational celebrity stories.